Learn how to sleep, and you will literally change your life overnight. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode. My name's Rick, and my aim is to help you realize the truth that feeling great is your natural state. So in today's video, I'm going to focus it on a subject which applies to each and every one of us, something which is relevant to everybody on the face of the earth, unless you are of the undead species, persuasion, vampires. I'm talking about sleep. So sleep is something that many of us may have a love-hate relationship with. Some people may love it and wish they could have more of it. Others wish that they didn't have to sleep at all. Maybe. Personally, I fall somewhere in the middle of that spectrum where I love sleep, but then if I get too much of it, I feel guilty. So at the same time, I try and not oversleep and get a nice balance between usually between 6.5 to 8 hours. Unfortunately, I'm not like glorious leader Elon Musk, who can get by on, I think it's something crazy, like it might be 3 or 4 hours, give or take. 3 or 4 hours. Anyway, so today I want to talk about ways you can optimize, steps you can take right now to optimize the quality of your sleep, which will ultimately result in you overhauling your life, totally transforming everything, practically overnight. So let's get it going. First thing first is, now this is something which I recommend to all my patients as well as an optometrist, and the easiest thing you can do is just minimize exposure to light at the end of the day. And I mean things like bright lights, bright lights. Bright lights, they can be from sources such as street lighting, car headlights, internal lighting, phone lights, things like that there. Basically any form of light causes your brain to produce less melatonin. Melatonin is the sleep hormone. And as the day progresses to nighttime, and whenever the sun goes down, your melatonin levels or your sleep hormone levels naturally rise. Whenever you're exposed to a bright light, especially at nighttime, that dampens that melatonin rise and actually brings it down. So if you can avoid bright light for 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, that will make it so much easier for you to naturally fall asleep. And another great thing you can do right now is close the curtains in your bedroom. This may sound like a pretty obvious point, but personally, I know myself for a long time, especially back at university, and other people I know as well, they kept their blinds open. We kept our blinds open because it could have been partly laziness, or maybe we enjoyed the light coming in the morning. I don't know, whatever reason people had for doing that, that's why they did it. The point is, if you close your bedroom blinds, shut out all the light, it makes it all the easier to fall asleep, to have a deeper sleep, and then to wake up more naturally in the morning, not having the rays of sunshine striking you in the face, saying get up, get up, get up unnecessarily. No, that's what alarm clocks are for. Anyway, so following on from this point, I'd like to supplement it with another point on the topic of light. Blue light in particular is very, very, very anti-sleep. In fact, it was found by a research team at Harvard University that blue light can actually shift your sleep cycle, also known as your circadian rhythm, back by as much as 3 hours. So if you normally fall asleep at 10 o'clock, in reality, blue light could delay that onto 1 o'clock. So something to be mindful of, and something where you can take steps very easily to avoid. Blue light is basically light that's emitted from all sorts of screens, phones, laptops, tablets, computers, and anything else which has like an LCD, LED display. Glasses today can come with blue protective filters. You can get them at your local optometrist's office. You can buy them online. Blue blockers. There are several sites dedicated exclusively to blue light blockers. And I would recommend them to basically every patient that I come across, especially if they are particularly device heavy. So what the blue light does is it essentially, in a nutshell, filters blue light out from all the screens that I just mentioned earlier. Whenever you filter out that blue light, it will dampen the overall effect of the light, i.e. it'll make it less intense, it'll make it more yellowy, and will allow your melatonin levels to naturally rise a lot more easily than what it would have done, or what they would have done otherwise. So another great way of eliminating blue light is through installing a blue block filter on your phone, laptop, tablet, whatever. There are many apps available. Some apps or some devices already come with it built in automatically, and you can just tweak the settings. But if not, I strongly recommend you go to your Google Store or Apple Store if you have an Apple phone, and yeah, definitely download a blue filter. it can make all the difference. My mum can testify. Anyway, light, and by extension blue light, if you can filter that out towards the last hour, 2 hours of the day, that will completely transform the way you sleep. Secondly, if you abstain, now this it may sound very obvious, but if you abstain from stimulants and heavy food for certainly the last 2 to 3 hours before the end of the day. Some people would go as far as to argue having no caffeine or tea or coffee at all for at least 12 hours before bedtime, but I don't know if that's realistic. I mean, I love my extra caffeinated mocha, cappuccino, espresso, whatever. I mean, all yes to all. So no, I am not going to not have a coffee after 10 o'clock in the morning, so that's bollocks. But what I do recommend is definitely don't have any form of coffee or energy drink after. If you're going to bed at, say, 11 o'clock, certainly not after 8 o'clock. I think 2 to 3 hours before bed is absolutely adequate. But definitely heavy meals. Midnight snacking is a terrible idea. Do not have a heavy meal before bed, especially if you want to have a good night's sleep. If you don't mind about having a bad night's sleep and not having to get up the next day, that's absolutely fine. But the thing is, we eat food to obtain energy to fuel respiration. Sorry, we eat food for fuel, which fuels the process of respiration, which is the process by which our bodies produce energy. Glucose plus oxygen equals carbon dioxide, water plus energy. Whenever you eat food, we're putting fuel in the fire. When you put fuel in the fire, you're not going to go to sleep. So why would you have a heavy meal before bed? Something worth thinking about. Anyway, so those are two really crucial steps which can make all the difference between a great night's sleep and a horrendous night's sleep. So a third and final tip, which will revolutionize the way you sleep, is learning to quiet your mind before drifting off to sleep. And I'll be the first person to hold my hands up and say that I was really guilty of this up until the last year, maybe a wee bit longer, where I would contemplate everything. I would contemplate the world and its mother while lying in bed, trying to go to sleep, trying to willfully attract the ever so out of reach land of Nod. Basically, I'd be thinking about episode 274 of The Simpsons, whatever that may be, or I could be thinking, what if Neo took the blue pill in The Matrix? Or I could be thinking of, I don't know, what does it all mean? Or what should I have for breakfast 4 days from now? Really random, really obscure stuff. I could be a lot more random than that, but let's not go down that rabbit hole today. Anyway, the point is, if you can learn to quiet your mind before sleep, you'll attract sleep so much more easily, and it will be a much deeper, much more tranquil, rejuvenating sleep. And to do that, a simple way is just to play, well, what I like to do is play nature music while I'm drifting off to sleep for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and just listen to it, let it wash over you. I also sometimes combine it with the mindfulness meditation, where I'm aware of the music and I'm listening to it, but I'm not judging it. I'm not describing it. I am not basically I'm not thinking about it. I'm just being mindful of everything around me, which is really just the music. Anyway, if you can do those three things, basically eliminating light, especially blue light, in addition to calming the mind just before you go to sleep, in addition to the second point as well, which was obviously abstaining from heavy foods and stimulants several hours before bed, that will completely and utterly change the way you sleep overnight. Whenever you change the way you sleep, whenever you transform the way you sleep, there are so many benefits to be had. Not least of all, improved immune function, because whenever you rest, you allow your immune system to, recharge, essentially, because whenever you're sleeping, the parasympathetic nervous system is engaged, which is the rest and digest nervous system. The deeper you sleep, the better it works. The better it works, the more your immune system is replenished overnight. You will feel more refreshed, which will boost your sense of well-being, your cognitive ability, your ability to focus, concentrate, think creatively. They're all elevated whenever you're fully slept, fully refreshed. And it can actually lower blood pressure. It can improve the quality of your skin. It can help minimize any erratic heartbeats, arrhythmias, heart rate anomalies, things like that. There's a whole host of benefits to be had from having a really good quality night's sleep. And the way you do that is just do the things we were talking about before. Avoid all light, all bright light, especially blue light, in the last couple of hours before bed. Don't have any heavy meals, certainly no stimulants in the last couple of hours before bed, and try and settle your mind by just listening to soothing music, or performing a simple meditation while you lie in bed. And that'll help smooth everything over, and you'll drift off like Gandalf and Frodo drifting off into the Grey Havens at the end of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, disregard what I just said. But other than that, I hope you gained some degree of value from this video. And if you have any questions, as always, please just post away in the comments section. And as always, all the best and take care. Thanks again.